better in the spring for this next winter, I'll tell you that. It's going to be a monster. And it's not too hot out, just clean branches. Hey, welcome back everybody. So today we kind of continued working on getting trails cleaned up and getting branches picked up. As much as I would love for me to be able to do everything with a piece of equipment like the excavator or the tractor, unfortunately there's still a lot of handwork that needs to be done. And that's what you see me doing here today, is this trail. This trail, and right about where I'm standing right now knocking down these branches, is the infamous location of where I ripped the valve stem out on my rear tire on my tractor the following summer when I was trying to grade it up. And part of the problem of being back in this trail here is this is probably one of the most used trails on the property. So when my wife goes back and forth when she's carting manure, this loops around to the manure pile, and I want to be able to get in there to mow it and knock the edges down and really make the trail nice. But unfortunately the branches are so grown in on it and it's so tight you're not really able to. So I decided, well, it was warm enough out today where it was nice enough where I better get out there and start knocking down some of these branches and then just picking them up and getting them over to the burn pile. So that's really what you see me working on here today, is just going around the property trying to get all these branches cleaned up. And it serves a dual purpose. A, knocking this down, like I said, is making it more accessible for the equipment to get in there to keep it mowed and grade it and work on it over the course of the summer and just keep it better maintained. And then hopefully even next winter I'll be able to get in there with the tractor better and actually keep it plowed. Whereas this winter she just kind of packs it down and drives over it, which works, but we got lucky and didn't have a ton of snow this year. Some years where there's a lot of snow you do have to get in there and scrape it, and the tight quarters and the branches make it tough. You're always hitting your... I'm always worried you're going to break the glass on the tractor or do something like that. So we're getting in there just knocking it down. The next side of this is a lot of these branches that I knock down over the course of the year, I just kind of knock them down when I've got the saw out, and then I don't really pick them up and bring them over to the burn pile just because I don't have anything hooked up to run them over there yet. So when I do hook up the trailer to the four-wheeler or to the side-by-side or the tractor, I like to try and get as much done as I can. So I'm going around the property here today knocking down some branches, clearing the trails up, and then just picking up other branches to get them cleaned up prior to the grass coming and growing in, because that's the big problem, is once the grass starts growing around everything in about another 2 months, you can't really see where any of the down debris or the branches are. Then I have a hard time getting the mower in there. I'm worried about breaking the mower, dulling the mower blades. So this all really needs to get done over the course of this next 2-month window here. So today is just a bunch of handwork, going through everything, getting it picked up, and getting ready for summer. wife had just gotten back from a barrel race here, and she tried to pull in. She parks the trailer over by the small barn there, and she tried to pull in, and the ground was just so wet and sloppy. She didn't really get stuck, but it was getting close to getting stuck. So she asked me to go and kind of back the truck in a little bit better. The problem is over the course of the next couple of weeks, as the ground starts to dry up here, it's not going to heal over there, so it's just going to continue to get muddier and muddier. So I kind of made the decision. I was like, well, you know, I think we need to move this trailer over to kind of where I'm walking by right now. It's in a much higher location. The ground doesn't get as sloppy there. We don't have to worry about the trailer getting stuck. So I decided to move it there. The only problem is all those trees have a ton of limbs, so what I ended up having to do was move the truck and trailer over and then do a bunch of limbing work so that we had room to get in and out of the trailer as needed, seeing as how the barrel racing season is kicking off. And that's kind of the tough part about spring anywhere. I don't know how it is elsewhere, but up here, I mean, we typically have probably a 3 to 4 week window where the weather goes back and forth so much. We'll get 40, 50 degrees for a couple of days, and all of a sudden it'll be back down to 15 or 20, and we'll get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow. And what that really does is that the frost doesn't come out of the ground as much, so all the water just sits on top, but the frost comes out of like the top 6 inches or even to a foot. So the water just kind of sits on that top layer. It's not able to infiltrate into the ground. So what you get is nothing wants to dry up. It just, if the water doesn't have someplace to flow, you just get that soupy, muddy mess on the top. And that's the time of the year that we're in right now and we're dealing with. And during that time, like it really sucks. Everything's muddy, everything's getting stuck, everything's getting dirty, but you just kind of have to deal with it. Ultimately, I'd like to get to the point where I can put a bunch of crushed rock down and concrete or blacktop or whatever we have to do so we don't have to fight that. But for the next few years here, that isn't going to be an option. So I'm just going to have to work through it and deal with it.